Carl, we'll start off as always with questions from supporters. The first one's from Chris. It says, just keen to know what numbers we will retain in terms of squad size, etc. Everyone so far looks like they could be part of a squad rotation.
In terms of numbers, we will obviously retain basically everyone. They're all contracted to the club, so unless they're not getting in or they ask to be released, we've contracted them all. So we've got a fair size, but obviously we need some depth, and we've got the option of the 23s in Hull. So hopefully, if they don't get picked, then they still get a game and it keeps them happy, and we'll retain the lot.
Second question's from David Margrave. It said, would it be possible to have a weekly update on the injury front, maybe in the match preview on the website, for example?
Repeat that, Jordan.
Would it be possible to have a weekly update on the injury front, maybe in the match preview on the website, for example?
Well, I wouldn't think so. I don't want to speak for Gary, but I wouldn't find there's too many clubs who want to go and advertise their injuries in the public, and I'm pretty sure Gary would be the same. So regarding the updating the injuries, obviously we don't want the opposition knowing what players we've got, and a lot of players do play not 100% fit, and if we advertise that they've got a problem with their left shoulder, opposition might run at them if they have to play a little bit when they're not 100%. So no, I wouldn't think we could advertise. We may be able to probably be a little bit better at keeping everyone updated on the long-term injuries, but week by week injuries to go in the preview, I would suggest we wouldn't do that, purely because we don't want to give away our team or what team's playing. We like to keep the opposition guessing, and every inch you can get to win games you have to take advantage of. So unfortunately, David, I don't think we'll be doing that.
And finally, from Stuart, it says, can Hull ask for any of our players to play for either them or the 23s or the first team to have a better look at them in a Super League environment?
No, that's not how it quite works, the dual reg. Obviously, I've touched on if our players who don't get selected, they can play for the 23s, but as of them playing for Hull first team, the only way that could happen is if Hull took them on a month loan or something like that. It's not as if our players can go and play straight in Super League, and I don't think that would ever occur anyway. So, they don't say to us who they want to play in their 23s to have a look at them. We send players who are available to play in their 23s, and it's up to them, two coaches, Lee Radford and Gary Thornton, to select them in those 23s. The partnership's decent, and they've got a formula between the two coaches on how they're going to name the team. So this only relates to the 23s from our end.
I go back to Sunday now. We took on Oxford in pre-season and a big win. You must have been impressed with what you saw.
Oh yeah, if I'm honest, I was really apprehensive before the game. I was a little bit nervous, and after the season we had, and if it didn't go to plan, then we would have been under the cosh, and I suppose you would have had a million and one more questions to ask me. But real good signs, bodes well for what we're trying to achieve. Let's keep our feet on the ground, but some really impressive signs. When you're winning by 40 and an intercept gets thrown, and it looked like our team were racing each other to get back to catch that player, which was, that was the most pleasing thing for me, what I seen. Gary would have seen a lot more that pleased him. The supporters would have seen a lot more that pleased them. So at the moment, it's friendly, but it was just great. It was a relief win more than anything after us not winning for some time. Regardless of how we did it, it was good. But very impressed with the fitness. The speed of line was good. The communication was good. The players looked like they were enjoying themselves, and if we can generate that team spirit, that togetherness, and them have fun along the way, then that goes goes a long way. It's not always the amount of money you pay people. It's the way that you pull the club together, and we're all in it together. And at this club, you know, our supporters, we know them all. We're very close. The players looked like they were enjoying themselves. I know they had quite a hard session on the Tuesday, so that would have brought them down to earth. We're hoping Leeds bring a very competitive side, so that, you know, really tests them as well. But we all know that nothing's won this early in the year, and hence the reason you asked about the squad. We've got a big squad, and we need to cover for injuries, and the intensity levels at training, I'm led to believe, have gone up overnight, because the players who weren't playing now think they better impress Gary and the coaching staff in training to get selected to play. So everything's looking bright, but we're under no illusion how tough it's going to be, and we've said that from day one. But what I said last year at the start of the year, I'll say again: you get what you deserve. If we deserve to go well and be up in the top 4, that's great. And that's what we're aiming to do. But if you want to start thinking you've cracked it and have your head up in the clouds, well, then you're going to soon, this game comes back to bite you on the backside pretty quick. So we're going to need to keep them on the ground, and know that there's plenty more hard work to do, a lot of hard work to do, and there's still some exciting players to come in, which is pleasing. So we enjoyed last week for certain. You know, after the game, it was one for me certainly where I just breathed. I thought, well, we don't look too bad, you know, because a high turnover of staff, 20 players, you don't really know how they're going to go until you see them. And for them to have something like 8 to 10 hours training on the field with the ball and 2 friendlies, there was a remarkable improvement on game 1. And if we improve every game, that's what we want to do. The Leeds game is another benchmark. We need to improve again, and then when we play North Wales, we need to improve again. So we all know what we're doing, and like I say, it was just a relief, and it was one that I think the fans enjoyed, which was great, and they were positive. So we just can't wait to welcome Leeds Rhinos down here. You know, to have the Challenge Cup winners, the Grand Final winners, and the league leaders come to Doncaster is something of a coup for us. So you know, we're very grateful for Gary and Brian McDermott saying they'll play us. You know, I'd say to the people of Doncaster, it's not every day you get to see the champions. So come down next week and support the boys, and let's see where we are. And I'm pretty sure Leeds will bring some top players, because they're playing the 4th, and the next game's not till the 14th, and then it's the World Club Challenge. So you know, not everyone can play, and they've got a decent squad. So last year Zach Hardacre played, and he ended up being the Man of Steel last year. So we don't get to see these players in action every week and live. So you know, I'd urge everyone to get to the Keep Mode and next Sunday at 3 o'clock, and let's see what we can do.